I never thought I'd be the guy writing something like this, but here I am. My name's Mike, and honestly, I still can't believe how badly I got played. I met Sarah about 4 years ago. She was smart, funny, beautiful, everything I thought I wanted in a woman. We got engaged last year, and I genuinely believed she was my forever. We had our issues, sure, but nothing out of the ordinary, or so I thought. Things started feeling off recently, though. Small stuff at first. She'd be on her phone more often, laughing at messages I couldn't see. She'd brush me off when I'd try to talk about plans or future stuff, saying she was just stressed at work. She'd come home late sometimes, smelling like perfume I didn't recognize. I'd ask her about it and she'd get defensive, calling me paranoid. "You're imagining things," she'd snap. "I'm just tired, Mike." "Yeah, tired from working late," she said. But I had this gut feeling that something was wrong. Then there was the big argument last week. It was over something stupid. She forgot to pick up laundry again, and I snapped. I told her I felt like she was hiding something, maybe even cheating. That's when she rolled her eyes and said I was overreacting, that she was tired of my paranoia. I was about to give up, honestly. It felt like I was losing her anyway, but I didn't realize how much more I'd find out that day. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling through my phone, just killing time after dinner. Out of nowhere, a notification from her phone pinged. It was a message from her boss, Mark. I saw it pop up on the screen saying, "Can't wait to see you again tonight." That hit me like a punch in the gut. My heart stopped. I stared at that message for what felt like forever. My stomach twisted. How could I have missed this? How did I not see it coming? I didn't confront her right away. I needed to gather my thoughts, figure out what it meant, but I knew. I knew she'd been lying, sneaking around behind my back. I'd seen enough. And the worst part, she'd been planning to leave me. She was going to pack up and walk out, probably right after I proposed last week. I don't even know what I was thinking trying to do that. Maybe I wanted to hold on to something, anything, before it all shattered. I felt stupid, betrayed, and furious all at once. I kept asking myself, how long has this been going on? Was she ever really mine? Or just a liar pretending to be the woman I loved? After I saw that message, the world around me spun for a second. I stared at the phone like it was a bomb about to go off in my hand. My mind was racing. I couldn't believe it. Sarah, my wife, the woman I'd trusted with everything, was cheating on me with her boss, Mark. That name echoed in my mind like a bad joke. She'd been sneaking around, lying to my face, and I had no idea. All the signs I missed, all the little hints that I brushed off as stress or work overload, turns out they were clues I just refused to see. I sat there in silence, trying to process what I just found out. My hands were trembling, and I felt like I was in some bad movie. I knew I had to confront her, but I wasn't sure how. I did want to just yell and accuse blindly. Still, I had to get some answers. I waited until she got home from work that evening, my stomach twisting every time the door opened. When she finally stepped inside, she looked tense. She sensed something was wrong, I could tell. I didn't say anything right away. I just held up her phone and showed her the message. Her face froze. Then she rolled her eyes like she was annoyed I'd found out. "Oh, wow," she said sarcastically. "So now you're stalking my texts." I felt my blood boil. "Who is Mark, Sarah? Who is he that you're so eager to see again tonight? Tell me, I want the truth." She scoffed and crossed her arms. "Really? You're accusing me of cheating based on a dumb message? Grow up, Mike. It's just work stuff. He's my boss, so what? It doesn't mean anything." I stared at her, incredulous. "You're kidding, right? How stupid do you think I am? I saw the message, Sarah. You're planning to meet him tonight, aren't you? You're planning to leave me just like I knew it. You've been lying all along." Her eyes flashed with anger. "You're being paranoid. You've always been jealous and insecure. Maybe I should just leave if you're going to accuse me of this crap every time I get a text." That moment, I felt my mind snap. I wasn't going to let her lie her way out of this. I wanted answers, real ones. I demanded to know what was going on, how long she'd been cheating, and what her plans were. I told her I deserved honesty, no more bullshit. But she kept denying, acting like I was some crazy jealous husband reading too much into a simple message. It was like talking to a wall. She insisted she loved me, that she'd been stressed, but that she'd never cheat, yet her words felt hollow. The way she spun her lies, the way she dismissed my feelings, it all just made me angrier. Inside, I was a mess. Part of me wanted to believe her, wanted to trust her again. But a bigger part knew the truth was right there in front of me. She was cheating, and she had been for a while. I just didn't know how I was supposed to fix this or if I even should. My instinct said to get out, to cut her off, to end it. But I was also scared, scared of being alone, scared of what this meant for my future. I had no idea how to move forward from this betrayal. All I knew was that everything I thought I knew about her, about us, was a lie. The next few days were a blur. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. My mind kept replaying that message from her phone, the way she lied and dismissed everything. Every time I looked at her, I felt this surge of anger mixed with heartbreak. How could she do this? How could she pretend everything was fine while she was sneaking around behind my back? It was like I'd been living in some kind of nightmare, and I was finally waking up to find out everything was a lie. I started digging. I know it sounds obsessive, but I needed to know the full story. I went through her phone, her emails, her social media, every possible way she might have been hiding her affair. I found messages from Mark, little flirtations, plans to meet up after hours. It was clear she'd been lying. For months, the worst part, she'd been so convincing, acting like the perfect wife, the perfect partner, while she was out screwing her boss. Finally, I decided I couldn't stay silent anymore. I called her at work, not to yell but to confront her again. I told her I knew everything, that I'd seen the messages, and I wanted her to be honest. Her response: she got defensive, very dismissive, said I was paranoid, that I was just jealous and insecure. She told me Mark was just a friend, that there was nothing going on. She even tried to guilt me, saying I was overreacting because she was exhausted from work and stressed out. That was her favorite excuse. She'd say I was imagining things, that I was crazy for suspecting her of cheating. But I knew better. That night I couldn't sleep. I sat on the couch, staring at the ceiling, trying to make sense of everything. The betrayal cut deep. I felt stupid for trusting her so blindly, for thinking we had something real. All those promises, all those dreams we shared, all shattered in an instant. I kept asking myself, was I blind? Was I just fooling myself into thinking I was happy? How many signs had I missed? And more than anything, I felt this overwhelming sense of loss, not just of her, but of the future I'd envisioned with her. The thing that hurt the most was knowing she'd planned to leave me. I found out she'd been secretly making plans, packing, talking to Mark about their next meetup. She'd even told friends she was ready to move on, that she'd had enough of my trust issues. That realization hit me hard. The woman I married was deteriorating right in front of me, and I'd been too blind to see it. Or maybe I just refused to face it. Whatever it was, the betrayal changed everything. I felt like my entire world was crumbling, and I wasn't sure if I had the strength to rebuild it. The anger started to simmer inside me, but beneath it, a deep sadness took hold. I couldn't ignore the fact that I'd lost someone I loved, someone I thought was my partner for life. I kept replaying everything she'd said in her defenses, all the lies she spun to cover her tracks. She kept insisting she loved me, that she'd never meant to hurt me. But the proof was right there in the messages, the secret meetings, the planning. How could she lie so effortlessly? How could she say she loved me while she was screwing her boss? I tried to talk to her again immediately after I found out. I wanted to understand, to get some closure. But all I got was more lies, more denial. She told me I was overreacting, that I was just jealous and insecure. She said Mark was just a friend, a mentor even, nothing more. She accused me of spying on her, calling me paranoid. The more she lied, the more I felt like I was losing my mind. It was like she was trying to gaslight me, make me doubt my instincts. I remember standing there, staring at her, feeling this intense mix of betrayal and disgust. I felt betrayed because she'd been lying, pretending to be the wife I thought I knew, while secretly sneaking around with her boss. I felt disgusted because I realized she'd been playing me the entire time, like I was some fool to be used and discarded. And I was furious. I wanted to shake her, scream at her, demand she tell me the truth. But I also knew that nothing she said now could ever fix what was broken. She had crossed a line that couldn't be uncrossed. That night I started packing some of my things. I didn't want to stay in a house full of lies and betrayal. I knew I needed time to think, to figure out what I really wanted. Part of me still hoped she'd come clean, admit everything, and somehow we could salvage what was left. But deep down, I knew that was a long shot. Trust was gone, shredded into pieces I didn't think could ever be put back together. I realized I was at a crossroads, either fight for her or walk away for good. And honestly, I didn't know what to do. All I knew was that I never expected my life to turn out like this, not after everything we'd been through. The days that followed were some of the darkest I've ever experienced. I kept oscillating between anger, heartbreak, and a weird sense of numbness. Every time I thought about her with Mark, I felt this fiery rage bubbling up. How could she have lied to me for so long? How could she pretend to be the perfect wife while secretly planning her escape? It felt like I'd been living in some cruel illusion, and now that the truth was out, I was left standing in the ruins. I finally made the decision to confront her one last time. Not because I thought I could change her mind, but because I needed some closure, something to close this chapter of my life properly. I called her and told her I wanted to meet. She hesitated, but she agreed, probably because she knew I wasn't going to let her get away with it without a final confrontation. We met at that little coffee shop downtown, the one we used to go to when we first started dating. I sat across from her, heart pounding, feeling like I was about to face the end of everything. I looked her over, her smug expression, her lies still hiding behind that fake smile. I knew I had to be firm, but I also couldn't hold back the tears that threatened to spill. I asked her why she did it, why she betrayed me this way. She shrugged and said it was because I was too controlling. That I never understood her, that Mark was just someone she confided in. That somehow that excused everything. I told her she was full of shit, that I wasn't perfect, but I never cheated on her. I never lied to her like she did to me. I asked if she loved Mark, if she ever really loved me, or if I'd just been some placeholder until someone better came along. She looked uncomfortable, but she kept insisting it wasn't about love. It was about her being tired of the marriage, tired of feeling trapped. She said she thought she deserved more, that she was finally going to leave me and start fresh with Mark. That's when I realized I couldn't stay silent anymore. I told her I was done, that I couldn't keep pretending everything was okay. I told her I never wanted to see her again, that I was going to file for a divorce. She rolled her eyes, told me I was overreacting, that I was just bitter. But I knew I was finally done with her lies. I felt the weight lift off my shoulders as I walked out of that coffee shop. Not because I was happy, but because I knew the horrible truth. I'd lost my wife, yes, but I also gained clarity. I finally saw her for who she was, someone selfish, manipulative, and unfaithful. It wasn't easy, but I knew I'd be okay eventually. I just needed to get through the pain, the anger, and the heartbreak first. Now that I've accepted what happened, I realize how much my life has changed in just a few weeks. The house feels emptier without her, and every corner reminds me of what I lost. But strangely, I also feel a sense of relief. It's like I finally took off the blindfold. I'm not naive. I know healing will take time and the pain of betrayal runs deep. But I've learned a few things I want to carry with me. First, trust isn't something you should take for granted. I thought I knew Sarah, but I was so wrong. I was blind to the signs, and that made me vulnerable. Now I know that the people closest to us can hide their true selves, so I'll be more cautious with my heart. Second, I've learned that betrayal cuts deep, but it doesn't have to define me. I'm still here, still standing, and I'll rebuild my life on my own terms. What I want to say to anyone reading this is, don't ignore the red flags. Don't let your love blind you to the truth. If you suspect something's wrong, don't brush it aside, get answers. Because when the betrayal comes, it hits harder than you could ever imagine. And when it does, remember that you're stronger than the pain. You can survive it, learn from it, and come out the other side better for it. This experience has been brutal, but it's also shown me what I truly deserve. I refuse to settle for someone who doesn't value honesty, loyalty, and respect. Maybe someday I'll find someone new, someone who actually cares. But for now, I'm focusing on myself. Moving forward, healing, and rebuilding my trust in life again. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's that no matter how deep the betrayal, no matter how shattered everything seems, you can survive. You can come out stronger. Just don't let the lies define you.